Hello and welcome to Daily Records. I am Tommy Burton and I am adjusting the camera. I know it's August. I know we spent all of July talking about the Beatles. But you know what? No. We're not going to do August with the Beatles. And I know it's August 1st. But I wanted everything to be represented equally. And so just to continue, we're going to do one more Beatles related thing. And we're going to end our Beatles month with Bad Boy by Ringo Starr. Like I said, I wanted to do everything evenly. If you go back and do the math and look throughout the month, it's the only way it would work because I wanted to feature, I didn't want to feature all Paul or all John or all George. Anyway, you can figure it out if you go back and look. Bad Boy by the Beatles. Ha! It's been a long month, people. Bad Boy by Ringo Starr, released on April 21st, 1978. This was the 7th album released by Ringo. And it's a really, really interesting point in Ringo's solo career because he'd had a few years of solo success, but by this point, he was starting to slip commercially. And after that initial success, he started to decline. This was an album that was released that was destined or tried to reverse that trend, but it didn't. His career continued to fall apart. Ringo IV had come out in 1977. It was a complete disaster. So he and Vinnie Poncia said, you know what? Let's not be so campy and let's get the sound a little more mainstream, and we're going to kind of do away with the disco and all that stuff that people didn't like. And so Poncia came in and said, let's produce this album. Now, he does rely on a lot of other people's songs, but there's no celebrity guests. So it's all about Ringo. Now, in 1977, in November, he was going to record this. He went to Toronto to record this for tax purposes, and even down in the Bahamas. A lot of records recorded in the Bahamas for tax purposes. So after about 10 days of sessions, the album was complete. Now, there is some orchestral overdubs done by James Newton Howard. And so they finally got the album ready to go and released it on April 21st in the UK, it's 1978, and on June 16th in the United States. But it didn't even make the top 100 in the US, even though there was a TV special that went along with it called Ringo. And it featured, a lot of people it was like a star-studded special, but He played a few songs from the album, Heart on My Sleeve, Hard Times, and A Man Like Me. But this was it. After the failure of this album, he was dropped by the record label, Polydor. And now Portrait, who it was released on the United States, they had picked him up. But they canceled his contract too, right in the middle of him making the next album, Stop and Smell the Roses. So this is a weird album for Ringo because it was like supposed to be, him coming back to form and making him a major star again. And it really was kind of like a nail in the coffin, which had to be disheartening. But there was a lot of personal stuff as well to prevent Ringo from reaching great heights, and that's all been documented. But just talking about and taking the album on its own merits, it's okay. Like a lot of Ringo was very consistent solo-wise. I don't think there's any point where Ringo really is terrible or unlistenable. I think his music is pleasant enough. On the other side of that token is that Ringo's not going to give you a Band on the Run or a Plastic Ono Band or a Living in the Material World. So Ringo's career can be enjoyable. but don't expect it to just be, you know, this mind-blowing material. And so Bad Boy, probably not as bad as the commercial success would lend you to believe. It's a decent album to listen to, but it's not one you're going to go back to on a fairly regular basis. So that's my take on it. Ringo Starr's Bad Boy. So that concludes our look at the Beatles. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's TommyBurton75. In the meantime, I'll see you all again tomorrow with another Daily Record.